Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our podcast, Moms on the Move. I'm Jen Wills.
And I'm Jennifer Sis.
We have two guests with us today. We have Michelle Elrod and, oh my God, Shonda Norman. Typical Jen. Sorry. So you own Same Day Printing and Embroidery.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. And you just opened like a year ago?
Yes, ma'am.
In October.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Jennifer Sisk is my new co-host and new as of what? Like last week?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like really fast and really fun.
Yep. We got the ball rolling and like literally she called me and said, what can I do? I have the best two women that I need to come on the show. And I was like, okay, this is great. So she just told me that you have been like so inspirational to her and just like such a positive impact in her life. So I was like, yes, let's have them on.
Yeah. They have a story. They have a light. They have an energy. And literally when I fell into their front door, literally,
yeah.
I knew that I was in the right place. I had just moved here. I didn't know who could do embroidery that would just do one item or two items and not a minimum. And I'll let you talk about that. So I had put it out there on Facebook and you were referred. So I was walking in, didn't know who, where, what, how long, how good. All I knew was the name. And it fell into your store, and that's where it started. And then I found out you have a backstory.
Yes, we do.
We do. Yeah. And how you happened.
Well,
I'll let Shonda go first.
Well, we were actually friends on Facebook for quite some time, but we never like really interact with each other. It wasn't until we started speaking out, we heard about something that happened between a young girl, excuse me, and a pastor. And we got very vocal on Facebook and everybody started coming against her and I. And it was like, okay, we got to do something about this. And so she reached out to me, I reached out to her. We was like, do you want to meet up? Let's really go hard for this young lady. And we met up and we did Breaking the Silence, was our first sexual abuse event that went over very well. Then it led into Healing Hearts.
And Healing Hearts was amazing.
Are these events or like charities or like, groups?
Breaking the Silence was actually an event during the Sexual Abuse Month that we put together for victims to come out and share their voice or be a voice. And then it went into starting Healing Hearts. And Healing Hearts is just mind, body, and soul and helping women and young women who have been traumatized and still fighting to try and overcome that. Our job was to try to help them to overcome and come out and share their stories and then share ours of how we overcame. And
yeah, speaking out was my first time actually speaking out loud what had happened. And just so happened one of the police officers that was there that came to speak to our event, as I was telling my story, we both realized that it was her that came when the police was called when I was raped myself. And the questions that she asked me that day was traumatizing to me, even though I later found out that those questions are the questions they ask every victim. So it did so much because I had always said I would never forgive. And just being a part of speaking out and Healing Hearts, it led me to say, I think I can forgive. I can't forget, but I will forgive, and I want to help as many women and children as I can. And I want to be a voice for the community, no matter if it's a father, a pastor, or a woman or a man. I want to be that voice, even when everybody else is trying to sweep it under the rug. And I think that's what, drew me to Shonda, is because she had that voice and she didn't care.
And we didn't know that we actually had the same stories, that we came
Do you
from
mind
the same
going into that
background. Because with me, mine started with my stepdad. I was sexually abused from age 7 to 13. And it wasn't until 13 when I decided to finally tell. And then with that, telling, I had to live with the abuser from that point on because my mom stayed. So it was rough. It was rough, but I got through it. And I learned to forgive my stepfather, and I learned to forgive my mother as well. So it unleashed me from a prison that I felt I was being held in because I was still holding on to that. And so in order to move forward in life, I had to let go.
I'm sure there's so many feelings.
Yeah, for me, it was a cousin. So it was a female cousin for me. My mom and dad worked, and even sometimes I was so afraid that even if my mom was there and she was still abusing me, I was too scared to tell. So that went on from the time I was like 6 till I made a mistake and told another aunt what was happening, and I was 13 years old.
Wow, you do very similar.
Very, very similar. But then again, I moved out, that passed. I still saw my cousin, but it happened again when I was 20. I was going to Greenville Tech, going outside to start my car up, and it was me and my baby. And the person came in the door, and I was raped in front of my son.
Oh.
He was 4 years old.
So to see this courage now, and the light that you are, and how you would never know, it's kind of incredible.
We definitely don't look like we've been through.
No, we don't.
You don't.
You're here.
We don't.
And I never, just being in with Same Day and how we give back to the community, I never, ever would have thought I would be working with men or young guys one-on-one. I never, I never thought that would happen. And just to see that change in myself, I sleep better, I feel better, and I'm not as scared.
Yeah. You came out the other side.
It's very a work in progress because she's not one to work with men, and to now see that the young guys that come in our shop, she's giving hugs, motherly hugs and things like that. So it's awesome to see because like I told her myself, I said, I never thought in a million years I would be mentoring young guys because I've always mentored young women. And it was like, wow, okay.
So do you mentor both?
We do.
We do. I mentored the young women at Hillcrest Middle School. I did that for about a year. And then when we got into Same Day, it kind of shifted because we noticed that a lot of designers that was coming in there were young men. And when they come in, they grab their notebook, pen and pad, and they sit there and they take notes as to what they want to learn about printing, about business. It's like, I'm here to learn, teach me. And it's like, if you're willing to learn, we'll teach you. We even have them come in the shop. We show them how to print their stuff. It's like, if this is your baby, you need to nourish your baby from the time it was born all the way up. You need to be behind the scenes with it. You need to feel it. You need to see everything, touch and feel everything about your baby. I say, you just don't want to hand it over to somebody and then say, do my product. Come behind the scenes and see how it all works. And when they get behind the scenes, they love it. They're like, oh God, what I need to go buy now to start mines and to do it from home. So
you
that's
inspired.
That's so awesome.
It's a give back, and that comes back tenfold when you do things like that.
It really
Which is why I wanted to have you on, because you have the backstory and how you rose up and how you started a business on your own in one room. Now tell me what's happened since then.
Oh yeah, because we started in the little room, which was Healing Hearts. We were in there meditating, and that was our foundation. We started with the Healing Hearts, the meditation room, the praying. We got up after praying, then it was like, whoa, seeing this vision of a print shop. It was like, don't know where it's going to come from, don't know how it's going to be.
Don't know how you're going to pay for it.
Just see it. And then 3 months later, it was like, we got another room. And it was like, okay, so we start moving stuff from the house into the other little room. So we still had Healing Hearts. And then we had the little print shop. It was just like about the size of a bedroom.
Okay.
And then it was like the landlord came and said, oh, I got another opening. And she was like, it's a front and a back spot. So instead of paying for 2 spots, you could pay for 1 and still get 2 rooms. We were like, all right.
Yes.
So we took that and we bring Healing Hearts everywhere we go because that's our foundation. So when people come into same day printing, they're surprised because we have a meditation room in the back, and they're like, oh my God, a print shop with a meditation room. It's like, well, that's our foundation.
Yeah.
That's where we go unwind. That's where we go
And
pray,
cry.
we cry,
Mhm.
you
And
know,
heal.
and heal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I felt it when you showed it to me this last time. I walked in there.
Yeah.
You could.
It's
It's the energy that the two of you bring to everything. But that
Yeah.
room was amazing.
we have had guys, big guys, like big football player guys, and one came in the shop. This one that'll stick with me forever. He came in the shop. He had a shirt in his hand, and he never told us he wanted us to print anything. But he sat down and he cried, and I looked over at Shonda like,
Yeah.
and I was
I
like,
was sitting
Shonda,
at
I
the
was like,
computer,
come.
and I was like, oh God.
He was like, no, like he grabbed onto me, and he just cried, and he was able to release. And he didn't get his shirt printed. Like he left. He ended up leaving. He said he felt better. Come to find out, it was the anniversary of his kids, his fiance's death. He had never ridden past our shop because she was buried at the cemetery across from there.
Up the street.
Wow.
Up the street. His cousin called back and he was like, is this the print shop? And I was like, yes. He said, I don't know what you did, but thank you for helping my cousin. He said he's been having a hard time. He said, thank you, thank you, thank you. He said, and we mean it.
Wow.
And I was like, he didn't get anything done. He was like, no, he got what
because
he
he
needed.
didn't come from that. He said he just drove through the parking lot and he looked up and something said, you need to go in there. And he came
Wow.
upstairs and he said, I didn't even need
He
nothing
said,
printed.
he's like,
He was like, I don't know why I'm in here.
He's like,
I believe it.
And he
I
just
really
released.
do believe in it.
So the
'Cause I
healing
felt
hearts
it.
aspect of it,
Mhm.
do people come there for, like what does that look like? Is it like therapy type?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like they sit around in a group and they come just to pour out,
Mm-hmm.
just to tell what's going on with them. Because I believe healing comes when you're able to just release
Yep.
and let go. And able to talk about it, because that's where our healing came from, because we were able to constantly talk about it. You talk until the tears stop flowing. Once the tears stop flowing, then the joy starts to come, and then it's like, you know what? I think I'm getting over this.
Mhm.
It's no more tears. I may be able to get to that forgiving part of things, because you don't want to continue to hold yourself in a prison.
Right.
Because God has a purpose for you, and you can't carry out that purpose if you're still holding on to that baggage, or you're still holding on to who hurt me, why they hurt me. You got to let that go in
Mhm.
order to soar to where you need to be.
the moment that I finally let it go, after carrying that for 30 plus years, their energy literally switched. Like it was just a switch. Like I felt better. I was not snapping. Even with my kids growing up, I was so overprotective and so afraid of them, for them to be out of my sight. I refused to go anywhere until they could talk and tell me what was going on. And even they can tell that I'm a different mom now than I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you could tell yourself now what, when you were in the middle of this, what would your advice be?
My advice, if I could go back and tell my younger self, I would tell myself to keep pushing.
Mhm.
Everything's going to be all right. Just keep pushing. Never give up. Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
So
I would tell myself that there are still good people, that everybody's not out to hurt me, that there are still good people, that I don't have to fight everybody I meet now, that it's good people in the world.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and there's so
incredible.
many different kinds of abuse.
Mhm.
Whether it's physical, sexual, emotional, verbal. I mean, there's so many kinds, and that being said, it's so much more common because people don't talk about it.
exactly.
Especially in our community. I think we are afraid to tell because, one, that person may be the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
2, it's probably a family member. And so everybody else is going to be upset when you tell, because I feel like enough people didn't get upset for me
Mm-hmm.
because it was a female. So I feel like once once you start talking about that abuse, because you abuse yourself. When you hold it in, you really abusing yourself too. So during that time, I was abusing myself too. So I had to forgive myself. And I had to stop talking to myself that way. And it's still a work in progress. I still have to make sure I tell myself that I'm worth it, that I'm that girl.
But the other thing is, too, a lot of people don't tell because it's like, the reason I didn't tell because it was like, is she going to believe me? And that's the most important part. So it's like when you tell, and like me coming up and my mom stayed, it was like, whoa, it was like a slap in the face. Like, it did me no good to tell because it's like I thought you were going to be on my side. But as I got older, she explained why. And I did put myself in her shoes at the time because she was like, you know, I was a young mom, 4 kids. He was the breadwinner. You know, my mom just passed and you came out and told me this. She was like, what was I to do? Yeah. She said, I haven't worked in years. My skills were gone. What was I supposed to do? And to me, I was like, I understand, but you could have developed a plan, you know, to, okay, I'm going to have him pay for my school. I'm going to have him do this, do that, so that when the time comes, me and my kids can leave. I say, but that didn't happen.
Right.
So that's, you know, that you have this story, and I want you to know, you know, as a life coach, when I talk to you, it was within both of you to be where you are right now. It was already there.
Yeah.
What you needed manifested. It was in you as a child. You had the strength then, you just didn't know. And so now you've created this niche in your company. I want you to talk about that a little bit because that's what drew me to you, or had me referred to you, was the one thing that you do that a lot of, you know, other companies don't do. Which is the, you know, the one item or two item.
One item. Because we don't have a minimum. And I kind of figured that out early on because most companies have a minimum. And in order to have anything printed or embroidery, you got to have like either 20 items or more. And I get it because when you do less than that, it's really not worth them powering up their machines and doing all of that. But looking at the times, and it's like everybody wants things so fast, so quick, so convenient. And it's like if I'm able to produce that, it's like, why not give it to them? Right, you know, it doesn't take that long. So when I was telling Michelle, it was like, there's these printers that, you know, we can get and, you know, we can print quickly and we can get you, bring it in that day. Sometimes we've had people sit there and wait right here.
Wow.
Give us a minute. We'll go ahead and print it, press it. Here you go. So we're more like a print, press, and go. Long as you send us your design and it's in printable format, we get it back to you the same day. Now, a lot of people come in and want embroidery same day.
That's different.
That's a little different, you know. Some things I can get back same day with embroidery, but I don't like to promise people that because, you know, the machine has a mind of its own and it does crazy things. But I will tell people I can get it back within that week. And that's still quicker than most companies. They'll tell you 3 weeks or more. And it's like, bring it over here.
So if I were to come in with like just an idea that I wanted T-shirts done, do you have T-shirts or do I bring the T-shirts? Or
you can do both.
Okay, so you do have some product.
Or we can supply it.
That's another thing that's different about us, that we will let you bring in your own T-shirt where most companies do not.
They will not.
Okay.
I brought in a raincoat. And they did my logo. I brought in a green sweatshirt, and then I do. They have hats right now that I brought in the other day. So
only thing we ask is that your garments be clean.
You don't want dirty clothes?
No, we don't. We have some occasions, but it's like, can we please get clean garments? That's all we ask.
That's all we ask, and just come with a positive attitude.
But most people come in like it used to come in. They sit down and they'll tell us, I did not plan on staying. I just came. They'll just come in, pull up a seat, sit down, because it's the relationship that we build with our customers that come in. They feel so at home. They're like, whoa, you know, I just want to sit down. And we'll tell them, you know, you want something to drink, you want some snacks, you know. It's like, y'all are a different shop, you know.
You do it with heart.
Yeah,
everything's with heart. When I walked in, of course, we laughed because I fell in.
Yeah.
And And so we laughed, and then you also, the other thing I noticed is that you promote everyone and you
We
lift
do.
other women,
We
which
do.
is amazing. I didn't even hardly know you, and you were already reposting my stuff, sharing my things, commenting. You put my business card out there,
Yeah.
and you did it for everybody. And I
Yep.
think it's the neatest thing. And all of the photos, it felt personal. So I think I've laughed in there. I've been serious in there. I've cried in there. I've did a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
and it's just an honor to have you both here. I'm very proud of you, and you inspired me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what do you see happening with business?
Oh, we see a lot because we
Dream
literally
big, right?
we have been moving faster than what we can keep up. Honestly,
Yeah.
we didn't think it was going to move this
We
fast.
didn't.
Actually, we didn't even know how the print shop was going to be. We just like, okay, it's just a print shop. Bring your things, we print. Eventually, it turned into a teaching shop. So it's like we get a lot of people. They come in there every day, pressing, printing, and I was like, "Whoa! So are we turning into a school?" It's like I could dig it. I'm with it. So I see big things happening for same day printing and embroidery because we're so different from everybody else. And
inspiring. It's just so true. I'm so happy we met too.
Yeah.
I love the story and just I think hope that you can provide people is so important.
That's a good word.
And the courage you show, it helps others. And when you heal others, it heals you.
It does.
So your room, there's just it's just not a printing company.
No,
it's like many things all rolled in one.
It is.
I like to call it the train station. I call it a train station because there's so many people that connect. Not only do you become family to Shonda and I, but if you're in there enough, everybody knows your name. How's this person doing? How's Crush Seeds doing? How's No Love doing? And that's, I mean, I remember, I'm never going to forget our first young person that we helped, which was Dorian Pinson.
Yes.
Like, I've never, ever, he changed. He was the person that brought down the walls for me in working with other young men. That one kid broke down the walls because he was just so big and he was such a presence and so well mannered and really cared about his brand. Even with him no longer being with us, he's still a huge.
His presence is still there.
It is. I can vouch for that.
Is still there.
It is, and I'm glad that you brought up Dorian. I wanted to know a little bit about him and what he did, and that now what his mom is doing. So touch on that real quick too.
So he, like Michelle said, he was our very first young person that came, and it was just such a joy. And then after we learned of his passing, it really I think she came in like that week.
Yeah,
after
I didn't know.
We found out. She didn't know until we started posting. And
just to clarify, he was the boy.
Your first client.
He was our first client, and he was the young man that passed. I'm not sure if you heard about it.
He drowned.
Yeah, during the drowning, and but he inspired a lot of the young people that come in there are the ones he inspired. And I always say he kept his word, and he was like, I'm gonna send people to you guys, and you can feel his presence. His presence is everywhere, even in the shop, outside of the shop. And his mom is such a sweet lady, such a blessing. And she works with us now. She carries on his brand. Elevated. It's called Elevated Love. And it's just basically giving back.
I told you.
It's just giving back love. And it's just amazing how everything just became full circle. And I mean, I don't know, it's just amazing.
The people we touch is sometimes people that you would maybe grab your purse. You may be a little, but just to see them, even if one of us is out of town, one of them comes over to check and make sure we're okay. Like they're always making sure we're good. They're always, did you eat? Are you leaving at the time? Are you safe? Sometimes we don't even know they're there. Hey, we watching y'all. Y'all good? I mean, and that's how Dorian was. I mean, he was.
Yep.
It's amazing to see the young people, and that's where I see us at, is even bigger in the community, helping more people.
Yes.
I would love to help even younger kids who have ideas and who need a place to put their artwork on their shirts. So that's
I
what
love
see.
that.
It'll happen. Look what you've manifested.
Entrepreneurial spirit. Like, you're just really supporting that. And I really hope that everyone in Greenville and even beyond is listening to this, because I think you're just the best combination of people that you're going to be so successful. You already are, but
That's what
I was thinking.
That's what the young our young entrepreneur came in there and say. He said, "Y'all make the best team." He'll say, he say I'm the mean one, but because
Shonda's more direct. And
I'm more
like,
direct.
Come on, baby.
yeah.
But that's the balance.
That is a balance.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So just to summarize, they are obviously here for many reasons, the Healing Hearts being one, and just having, your doors open to the community for support and inspiration, hope, just listening ears. And on top of that, supporting business, supporting the entrepreneurs and helping them and guide them in their desires to print and design, grow.
Yes.
Yep.
So you are located Wade Hampton.
44
Okay.
Archenhold Drive,
Okay.
Suite L, Greenville, South Carolina, 29609. We're right behind Wade Hampton High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, so much for
Thank you
coming.
for
Thanks for
having
suggesting.
us.
I know, I was so excited.
I know you were. I know. And now I fully see why.
I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
So I am honored that you're here.
Thank you.
This was a great story to
Thank
hear.
you.
So thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable to us.
Oh, thank you.
I hope that
I held all my tears in check. They gave me a pep talk this morning.
She is the emotional one.
and she gives good hugs.
Yeah.
You're an awesome team. Jen's right. You're incredible.
Well, thank you again, ladies, for coming.
Thank you.
We want to take 1 minute and thank our sponsors. I have Leisa Johnson with Fairway Mortgage to thank. She is our title sponsor this episode. And we have our other sponsors. We have Nest Real Estate. They are my new brokerage and wonderful and so supportive. Blackacre Law, Parham Smith Archenhold, Body Works. They have a great have you been there?
No.
Pilates.
I haven't.
It's like pelvic floor therapy, but like very into like helping your body, and I've been going there.
I
It's
need help.
great. It feels good. And then thanks to Southern Girl Chic for dressing us.
Yes.
So we are very grateful to our community, and we also hope that our community is super supportive of these awesome women. So thanks again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.